Was pulling back from that right hand too. That's where Monaco wants to put him, right on the end of his shot.
And Gary Bell's corner, Tommy Brooks again urging Bell to show a little more of that simulated Tyson that had disturbed Evander Holyfield in sparring. But Gary Bell very, at this point, patient and not rushing the attack on Monaco. Bell trying to lift his record to 15-0.
Uppercut on the inside from Monaco. Oh, he's tired. Those gloves. 10 ounces, they feel like 10 pounds.
We talked about earlier, one of the important things that Holyfield has taught Gary Bell, being as close as they are sparring. Bell sparring for Holyfield is the proper way to breathe, especially for going the distance. Gary Bell has never gone 10 rounds and is scheduled for 10.
The most important thing that I learned as a boxer in my career, I reached another level when I was able to breathe in the ring. You forget to breathe when you go out there. And once you learn that, you learn how important it is to breathe between rounds. Something Gary...
Oh! Monaco gets in close. We heard Jim Davis in the corner in between rounds talking about and talking to Sean, predicting that they will get Gary Bell by around the 8th. And Monaco, if he does catch that second win, could turn this. Because right now, Gary Bell not exactly doing what his corner wants him to do.
No, he's let down now. Look at his hands now as compared to earlier in the fight. Different complexion suddenly. There's a good right hand. Bell may be going for the knockout here. He's taking his time, trying to set up his shot. And for this time right now, this would be a great explosion for Monaco if he could do that. He could muster up enough energy. Winded.
10 seconds to go in the 6th. And we will pause for a word from your local cable systems. You're watching Tuesday Night Fights, the Wildwood Convention Center. We're on the shore, southern tip of New Jersey. Summer vacation place. Getting all ready for the big July 4th weekend. And the summer really starts going here. 7th round, these two heavyweight hopefuls. Gary Bell, with a record of 14-0, is claimed to fame so far as one of the top sparring partners for Evander Holyfield. Gary Bell with the simulated Mike Tyson look during sparring. But we have not seen much of that here in the real fight. And Louis Monaco, who comes in with the modest record of 7-7-2, but a late bloomer who cracked Buster Douglas in the last fight, has beaten former world champion Michael Dokes, beat 19-0 prospect Kevin McBride, now goes up against another unbeaten in Gary Bell. Sean O'Grady has moved now into the Gary Bell corner. Lou Duva and Tommy Brooks are there. Champ?
Lou, it looked as though Gary Bell took the last round off. Why?
I don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. But
you're still having trouble controlling him in these fights?
Yeah, well, this is his first 10 rounder, Sean, you know, and he's excited about it, you know, and he's coming on, you know, he'll be there, and he's fighting a tough guy that can punch, you know, but he's getting his combinations off.
Good little fighter. I see the confidence from Holyfield. What else has he learned from Holyfield?
Confidence, I think. Hey, don't forget, you know, when you talk about Holyfield, he had an expensive sparring partner for 4 months with Holyfield, you know.
How about the pacing of these fights? I noticed he has a couple of times given us some explosions. Will we see more of those?
Yeah, you'll see that. If he does what he's supposed to do, he's a hell of a fighter because he comes in with 2 and 3 punch combinations. But sometimes he has the tendency to take a minute off in the
fight. What is he supposed to be doing right now, Lou?
Right now, he's supposed to be holding his hands up, get close, and then throw 2 and 3 punch combinations. But sometimes he forgets he gets one punch rather than 3 or 4 punch combinations.
You know, in their corner, Monaco, they're predicting a knockout.
Well, he's a puncher. That's the only way that he's going to win this fight if he wins it at all, you know? He's got to try and knock him out. He's not going to avoid this kid.
Yeah, but could Gary get thrown into a slugfest? It looks like you're slugging too much now.
I know, that's his style, but the thing is, you know, it's a kid in his first 10 rounds.
I know, Lou. I know you're going to have some words for him when he comes back to this corner.
I'm going to have a lot of words with him because he's catching too many punches. Doesn't seem to be catching.
Okay, they want him moving now. He's getting hit.
Monaco knows how to pull out a fight. And right now he needs the knockout to pull this one out from the jaws of defeat, but he's honing in. Gary Bell hearing it in his corner, and Tommy Brooks saying, don't let this guy back into the fight. Go back to basics. Gary, go back to the jab and follow that up with the straight right. But Monaco certainly lifted in the 7th round, getting some cracks in there. There's a left hook by Monaco.
Sometimes when you get into these fights and you're really tired, really winded, all of a sudden you become a robot. Your head stays still. Your opponent can tag you at will. That's what happened to Gary Bell in that last round. Too robotic. Got to relax. Got to play. Move your head a bit. Get that jab working. That's what they told him between rounds. See how much pressure Gary Bell is using now. He says he's very aggressive. He likes to fight, but this is the time he doesn't want to fight. You fight when your opponent does not want to, and you don't fight when your opponent wants to.
Monaco came up the hard way, no amateur experience, just thrown in professional fights, learning on the job. As a matter of fact, after the Douglas fight, he knocked down Buster Douglas after the bell and then was disqualified. He came back 11 days later against a Jesse Henry, who had a record of 5-8, and it was the first fight that Monaco ever went into in which he was the favorite. And that streak lasted one fight because, well, the question was who was the favorite actually going into this fight. I guess you have to give the nod to the undefeated 14-0 Gary Bell.
But his record in that fight was 6-7-2 in the last fight that he went in as the favorite.
That's right. Moved up to that 500 mark. Arthur McCanty steps between the two. Monaco is mouth open, has been since the 2nd round, breathing hard. Also seems to be talking to either his opponent or himself, maybe offering himself some reminders. Jim Davis, his trainer, has, again Monaco cracking in.
Downstairs to the body. Good move by Bell. Your opponent's landing into your head with hard shots. Get to his body. Take some of that power away from him. You rob your opponent of his power by hitting the body. Control his shots. You impose your will.
10 seconds left in the 8th. Could Monaco be coming on? 8 rounds down. Kind of get the feeling the best 2 rounds are ahead. Louis Monaco trying to find that 2nd win. He has taken Gary Bell longer than Bell has ever gone in a professional fight into the 9th round. Monaco has gone 10 rounds twice, and that's with former world champions. Beating Michael Dokes and losing a close split decision to Trevor Berbick.
Yeah, Jim.
There's that jab by Bell.
The Bell in the corner of Louis Monaco had been promising him, you'll catch your 2nd win, and he did catch it back in that between the 6th and 7th round. He came out with more intent there in that 7th and 8th.
But in the meantime, how many of those Bell punches does Monaco have to catch before he catches the 2nd win?
Well, he caught a lot during the first 6 rounds, but it may have taken the energy out of Gary Bell, although he's having a good 9th round at the first part of it. In the first minute, he looked strong. Can't be lazy with that jab. Shaking his head no. No means yes, that hurt.
Monaco says one of the biggest improvements that he has seen is when he was starting, he would throw those punches very slowly and was getting caught. And now that he's getting the punch a little more speed, quicker, but for the most part tonight, punches coming pretty slow.
But he still has the power. He says, this is my chance. to show the nation that Buster Douglas was not a fluke for me.
Well, he's still searching for that punch, but as he showed against Douglas, all it takes is one. And then, of course, it has to be before the bell sounds. So he's kind of working on that also. Down to 1 minute on the nose left in round 9.
Well, I would say as good as any, this is a great time for him if he could muster the energy to throw that right hand. Look at the hands of Gary Bell have come down. Bell standing in more, trying to clinch more.
The question now is whether Louis Monaco could raise his hands higher than Bell's hands.
Raise his hands higher than Bell's chin.
All right, Bell has Monaco measuring him. Monaco intent staying in there until it's broken up by referee Arthur McCanny.
Burst of energy from Gary.
Oh, and then Bell walks into that short right of Monaco.